Broadcasting live from the ILTV studios located here at University Drive. Welcome once again to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I'm also a member of the local Catholic Christian community. Praise the Lord. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Bradley comes from an ancient church. Your church is called?
The Church of Christ. We are the first century church.
This is powerful. Today is Tuesday, the 16th day of July 2024. And there are exciting news coming from the Honorable House of Assembly. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at what the Prime Minister has to say as the government moves to pass a bill that would legalize dangerous drugs. And then, of course, the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, he wants the people to be able to smoke dope. He supports a nice, sophisticated way of allowing citizens to smoke dope. He thinks that all of us should be allowed to have recreational marijuana. I'm afraid of it because there's evidence that recreational drugs has led to medical doctors compromising the profession. I'm going to name a series of missteps. It is alleged that doctors committed while high on dope. Nobody wants to talk about it, but this is what Minnis wants. The Foreign Affairs Minister and the Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Fred Mitchell, he's warning about bad-mouthing and attempting to undermine the institution of law enforcement. It's our Royal Bahamas Police Force. This is Freedom March, a wonderful day in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save our King, King Charles III, the entire royal family. God save the King. It's a wonderful day. God save the King. I'll be right back as we talk dope talk. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and there are some things that are happening in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that is happening on the high sea. You would recall that I told you, perhaps it was last week, of a Honduran vessel. It is called the Master Rule that sank, and we have been told all kinds of things about this vessel. This is a vessel that it is alleged set sail with huge rocks, and the vessel was heading, we now understand, to one of the keys, and it sank. We now have been told that there were at least 8 foreigners on this boat, and the boat sank when they, it is alleged, were loading the boat with big rock. They cracked something in the boat. The boat took on water and they sank. And our defense force, I'm advised, did go and search for a couple of hours. 4 Hondurans were killed, they were drowned, and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas does not see the seriousness of the fact that we have had so many people who have been killed on our high seas, and there's been no proper investigation. Before the son died, because I told you that he had successfully escaped the sinking ship, but his father, who was the captain, apparently he had difficulties. The son went on the vessel and he videotaped the ship before it sank, and he sent it off. And I'm advised of how sad if we were able to translate what he said to family. But we're not taking it very seriously. We've had many murders committed on the high sea. So you can go to the high sea, you can murder your crew, you can act grossly irresponsible, they die. Just make sure that the vessel sink in the depths of the ocean, and nobody complies with the law. They have a defense force officer who is in charge of the port, but he's overwhelmed. Perhaps he's not been educated as to what the law says. And there's no one in the Department of Public Prosecution who steps in and say to him, this is what you must determine. So there's no criminal investigation. So here in the Bahamas, it's like serial killings on our high waters. And I'm so overwhelmed as a sick man, having to listen to the sorrows of all these people, and then people who say to me, please ask the Commissioner of Police if he could investigate it. And I said, well, I'll ask him. I don't know if he could go in the ocean and investigate, because the laws are not being enforced. And you know, many of us, we don't like foreigners. So it is, you know, we are hateful. How can we have these people being murdered in our oceans and there's no serious investigation? I got a list of people who have been killed in our water, and it's cover up. Sometimes we kill them and then mysteriously their bodies showed up, And then we are able to say, guess what? He fall off the pier, but we already had him in the ocean. We already murdered him, maybe retrieved the body. There's no coroner's inquest. The Central Detective Unit isn't called out. Maritime, because the F&M, and now the PLP, and now the F&M, and now the PLP, they keep one foreign white man. And ever since that foreigner became the deputy chairman of Maritime, no government, no party would get rid of that foreign white man. And guess what he does? When the F&M comes to power, he flies key parliamentarians and others around the world. It is alleged that everybody get the little $10,000. They're spending money. And as the party changes, he continue to do it. But nobody say nothing. Perhaps one day when they take me around the world, which will not happen because they fly, and I'm afraid of plane, the money will corrupt you. Oh, it is a sad day to see all these people being murdered in our ocean. So we think that there is crime on land. And so the police will tell us how many murders have been committed on the land. But if you check the shipping industry, if you check between Porter's Key and Grand Bahama, the many vessels, some having had Bahamians on it, they have been killed. And then you can collect insurance. And since the Central Detective Unit does not investigate, and since they have the whole thing camouflage, nobody knows. And then the biggest piece of gangsterism is in the heads of agreement. We have not insisted that the foreign developers on these islands disclose to us which vessel they're hiring. Is it Bahamian? Is it licensed? Is it paying taxes? Is it paying what? They don't. So you have an Honduran vessel operating in the Bahamas now. And it's its sister ship, the Masteru, that has sank. So it's amazing. We need prayer. We need something to be done with maritime. We need something to be done. Yeah, the fella's a foreigner. Yeah, he speaks Spanish. Yeah, we got some Haitian working on the boat. Poor Haitian man family from Baintown. We killed him in the ocean. And they said, well, he's a Haitian. All right? And the majority of us, we're trying to survive. We're trying to be quiet to protect our jobs and the little income we are making, so nobody speak up. But it's a terrible, terrible thing. I'm going to invite my spiritual advisors to set the stage from a Christian perspective so that I can be overwhelmed by the Spirit of the living God. Bradley, Roll, welcome to Freedom House.
Thank you so much.
Behold,
a
sinful commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, it's the world. You know, the sin is not only here in the Bahamas, but it's all over. And that's the reason why Jesus Christ came to the world, because of sin. Now, Sandra, I want you to follow me on this. We're not going to call anybody's name. We're not going to call the name of the organization, but somebody sent me a flyer, and they want to know if I could respond to the flyer from a Christian perspective on this view that there is it seems to feel like a breakfast feeding organization that wants to give meals to the public, but they don't want to invite sissies. They're saying that we're going to have free chicken sauce this Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And it is a religious flyer because it says church grounds. And it says all is invited to attend except sissies. And they want me to respond to this. What would Jesus do if he was feeding people? Would he exclude some? Or would the invitation be for all? So let me first of all go to this passage. The first passage, of course, I'll be in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, and I want to read this because this is addressed to Christians. And here's what the Apostle Paul says to the church of Corinth. And Corinth, of course, was Sin City. These people were converted from a very sinful pagan society to Christianity. And here's what he says. He says, I wrote you in my letter not to associate with sexually immoral people. Not at all mean the people of this world who are immoral, or the greedy, or swindlers, or idolaters. In that case, you would have to leave this world. Understand that point. He says, when I wrote you this letter, not to associate with sexually immoral people, he says, not at all mean the people of this world, I'm not talking about non-Christians who are immoral, or the greedy, or swindlers, or idolaters. He says, in that case, you would have to leave this world. He says, but now, I am writing to you that you must not associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or a sister, but is sexually immoral, or greedy, an idolater, or a slanderer, a drunkard, or a swindler. He says, do not even eat with such people, meaning somebody who's in the church, but is practicing these things. He says, what business is it of mine to judge those outside the church? You see the point there? The people who are inside the church who are practicing these things, these are the ones who you must separate yourself from and don't eat with them. He says, what business is it of mine to judge those outside the church? He says, are you not to judge those inside? God will judge those outside. So he says, expel the wicked person from among you. Are you not to judge those inside the church? Don't worry about the people outside the church. God can judge them. God will judge those outside the church. Here's what Jesus would do. Mark chapter 2, 15 to 17. It says, while Jesus was having dinner at Levi's house, many tax collectors and sinners were eating with him and his disciples. Many tax collectors and sinners were eating with him and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. When the teachers of the law, who were the Pharisees, saw him eating with the sinners and tax collectors, they asked his disciples, why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners? Here's Jesus' response. On hearing this, Jesus said to them, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Mark chapter 2, 15 to 17. Self-explanatory. I don't know if I need to elaborate on that too much, but that flyer, I must condemn it. It is unchristian. It is unchristlike. And that is not the way Jesus Christ would approach that if he decides that he's going to feed people. He would not discriminate. He would invite all. Of course, he had a message in the invitation. And of course, that is to convert the lost to the cause of Christ. The word of God is forever and ever blessed. Amen. Thank you, producer.
I thank you, my spiritual
Senator.
advisor.
Absolutely.
May I interrogate you?
Yeah, man, go ahead. No, don't interrogate me. Ask me some questions. Because I didn't do anything wrong.
Who were you quoting?
I quoted Paul's instruction to the Church of Corinth. And I
Why
quoted Mark.
then are you making reference to what Jesus would have done
Because
when it is Paul who wrote the letter telling Christians not to associate with those people who have committed those abominable sins,
who are inside the church.
who are inside
Right.
the church.
Why am I making reference to that?
Why make reference to Jesus?
Because Jesus revealed it to Paul. That is not Paul's message.
Did Paul say, who did he address the letter to?
Paul, under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit,
Who did he
he
address the
addressed
letter
it to
to?
the Church of Corinth.
When he wrote the church of Corinth, did he say, I am directed by Jesus?
Yes, he did.
To write you this.
I'll show you the passage in 1 Corinthians 14. Yes.
Okay, I'm cross-examining you.
Yeah.
Okay. When Paul said that those who have committed those sins are the ones who you should not be associated with, did he specifically say church members?
Yes, he did.
What then make you believe that the flyer was not referring to members of that church?
What makes you think it is referring to them?
Because they are Christians like you.
Yes, sure, man.
Well, I have to assume.
Your argument
Yeah.
is flawed.
No, you're not
It
thinking.
is senseless.
No, you're not thinking.
You're just trying to find an argument out of nothing
No.
because you don't know if those sissies that he talk about are people inside the church. He says all are invited to come and eat except sissies.
My spiritual advisor.
Now you saying they are the people inside the church?
I am submitting that his invitation are to members of his Christian denomination.
And the ones who are sissies who don't
Jeff-
want to come, they are church members as well.
Yes,
How do you know that?
because he didn't invite you nor me.
Man,
I know you're not going to accept that. You need to.
you know something?
You need
Sometimes
to.
you just go off the deep end.
No, you need to relax and think about what I said. This is Freedom Mass.
This is amazing. What is wrong with you, my friend?
My name is Rodney Monka. That church was talking about the sissies in its pulpit.
You see that? Now that's an assumption.
That's who they are.
Yeah.
God saved the
It's
king.
amazing.
God saved the church. And upon this rock, the church of Christ will prevail. Welcome back to Freedom Match. My name is Rodney Moncur. I believe that the Christian church is under attack by the devil. But we have been taught that the gates of hell shall never prevail. And it becomes very important for pastors and priests to put on the full armor, and they should be careful because there are many people who would manipulate flyers and other messages that are sent out by the church. And the spiritual advisor and I, at the adjournment, we sat back and we have concluded that we don't think any pastor would say that, and that somehow this is the works of the devil.
Yeah, it only could be. I mean, I can't see any preacher in their right mind doing that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've never seen it happen before.
Right.
So obviously,
It's the works of the devil.
it could be AI. Could it be?
Well,
No,
I think it's DI.
because I don't
I
think.
think it's the devil's in
Yeah, because that wouldn't be the approach if you're gonna have
No.
a feed ministry, and you want people to come and have breakfast with you. That wouldn't be the right thing.
Yeah,
to
that
do
would be horrible.
under no circumstances.
Yeah.
So we'll dismiss that as the works of the devil. But of course, I did show you some passages in the Bible that can very uniquely and powerfully show you where in the church, if you have members who are practicing homosexuality, you have to kick them out. Because you
What
can't,
if the member is
you can't be a
practicing?
homosexual.
What if
and be
he's
in the church?
practicing
Sweethearting?
sweethearting?
Kick him out. You're not supposed to eat with him.
Well, you were supposed to say that.
I already said
because
that.
predominantly, I want you to listen to me.
I showed you the word
Yes.
sexually immoral people. That means
yes,
everyone who
but you
practices
emphasize
sexual immorality.
on sissy.
Only
when-
because of that poster.
But my spiritual
Mr.
advisor.
Medusa, do me a favor, please. Put that passage up against me,
Mr.
please.
Spiritual
Because I'm not
advisor.
going to allow this man to take me down this trapsy road of his. Put up, let's go back.
Spiritual advisor.
Senator, look here.
I want you to be an
Just give me a second.
intellectual.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The Apostle Paul says, I wrote to you in my letter not to associate with sexually immoral people. Now, this passage,
Yes.
if you were to go up to verse number 1,
Yes.
what you would see is that there was a young man who was sleeping with his father's wife. And he was in the church. The church didn't deal with it. So the Apostle Paul now is writing them to deal with this man who was sleeping with his father's wife.
Read that scripture to me.
With the man who was sleeping with his father's
Yeah,
wife.
because he's no good. He's a no good dog. Read that to
You
me.
never saw it before?
Read it to me.
Okay, so Mr. Medusa, you're gonna have to download 1 Corinthians 15. So 1 Corinthians chapter 5, then read up the start of verse number 1. But let me do the odds in the meantime. I thought you would have read. But now, if he's sleeping with his father's wife, Sandra, here's what I assume. That is not his mother. You understand me?
My spiritual advisor.
No, I'm not saying it right. Sandra, listen to me. I'm just trying to break it down for you a bit. A man is sleeping with his father's wife, right? I believe that he is mother. That's a stepmother. But it doesn't make it right.
You see, you're willing to break that down
No.
for me. But when I challenge you on
1 Corinthians 5,
The fact
1 through 5.
that you have emphasized based on that alleged flyer, sissy people,
It says, everybody come except sissies.
right? You were supposed to say what the scriptures say, and then define that it didn't only mean sissy people. Because in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, there has been a scientific survey which has shown that we have more sweet otters than sissies.
This is true. This is true. Sweethearting is big business.
And we have more prostate problems.
But now, do you
As a
think,
result of
do you
that.
think it's sweethearting in the church?
Sweethearting is everywhere.
Do you believe that pastors have a sweetheart?
If I believe that,
You believe that?
I left a church because of that.
You serious? Mm-hmm. The pastor has his wife and another woman
The pastor, children
in the choir.
in the choir.
Look like this place then. Look here.
Yeah.
See right here? Look at this.
Go ahead.
It is actually reported that there's sexual immorality among you. You see this broad term, sexual immorality? The Greek word there is fornication. That's where we get our the Greek word is porneia. That's where we get our English word fornication, which refers to all immoral sexual acts. And look at this. He says, it is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you. He says, and of a kind that even pagans do not tolerate. Now this is the church now. A man is sleeping with his father's wife, and you are proud. Shouldn't you have rather gone in the morning and have put out of your fellowship the man who's been doing this? And that was my point to you. The sexually immoral people in the church, they're supposed to be put out.
Yes, my spiritual advisor, I agree with you. I was merely attempting to get you to itemize the various sexual sins as opposed to just
talking about
picking about sissy.
Right. So in this case, we have a man sleeping with his father's wife, and it was condemned by the Apostle Paul. The church apparently were dragging their foot with it.
Do you know that is very prevalent in this society?
What?
Where sons have been sleeping with their father's wife.
They stepma. Break it down in English term. The man sleeping with his stepma, with his stepmother. Man, Santa, people don't go that low, man. Not today. This 2024. That's thousands of years ago now, Santa.
My spiritual advisor.
That ain't today, man, Santa.
My
Santa, ain't nobody can sleep with the old man.
Why are you stopping me from expressing myself?
Go ahead.
Because of my handicap,
Go ahead.
You can speak faster than me.
Go ahead, Santa.
Huh? Jesus, up
the man sleep with his stepma?
It's very sinful, and there are many sons who have had children with their with their father's wife.
Wow.
Right? And it's a good thing that the son was really the father's child, so nobody was able to tell
the difference.
The difference.
That's what he's coming.
You don't believe that?
Santa, everything is impossible.
Don't challenge me.
Yeah. No,
is
impossible.
If you challenge me, I'll bring you
Santa,
evidence.
Don't air nobody.
Oh, I'm not airing anybody out. No, I just want to show you that in the Supreme Court emerged evidence of a wicked son who took his father's wife, all right, and gave children unto her.
Wow.
Anyway, we're going to leave that alone because this country is very small, and the next thing you know, they start saying me, and I wasn't born when they was doing that.
Yeah.
But I do not believe in domestic violence. But if by accident I had a wife and my son took her away from me, when I finished with my wife, dog would know her name, because she got to know that's her son. This is powerful. Let's read ads. Let's read ads. Yeah. If my son sleep with my wife, right? He's no good. Because that would be his mother.
God, what
right?
is this?
And that would be very, very sinful. Now read ads.
The Work Center.
The air conditioner's off in here, man.
The Work Center, located in Rosetta Street across from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back-to-school Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let the friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. This is indeed powerful. Everyone needs money, always. So send money internationally and locally through Western Union with Money Max. Download the Money Max app today to send cash instantly to a family member or friend anytime and anywhere. Sending money has never been simpler. The app is available on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Money Max. Live your max life.
This is powerful.
Indeed.
This is powerful.
Indeed.
Why, thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
There's some exciting things taking place in our parliament. There is a debate taking place, and it involves the legalization of a very dangerous drugs, marijuana, which has many aliases. Some people call it cannabis. Some people call it Kushongping. Some people has given it the S word, named after a senior attorney in London. You would have heard me make reference to Lord Shitty. So there are many, many names, but it's dangerous drugs. And now we have the Rastafarians at the parliament putting an argument so that they can have recreational dope, which they will use for sacrifice. This is what is going on. And I really wanted to talk about it, but I'm going to hold on because I have many days to talk about this. I want to go to our waters because I am disturbed over the many people who are dying in the waters of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and it is a scandal. And as one of the King's Justices of the Peace, and a man who believes in human rights, I think I have a moral duty to draw to the attention of the state, and by extension, the citizenry, that something got to be wrong, that 4 Hondurans, they were killed in our water. I'm going to show you a little video so that you can see what's taking place as I call for an investigation, because it is so sad. It is so sad.
Amor, amor, aquí nos estamos hundiendo, amor, nos estamos hundiendo, mire, ve, nos estamos hundiendo, la amo, oiga, cuídame la niña ahí, ve, por favor, cuida a mi mamá, yo la amo mucho, ve, oye, ve, la amo mucho, mi amor, cuídese, oiga, mucho, mucho la amo, mi amor, cuida a mi bebé, por favor, por si no llevo, oye.
So, that is Spanish, and he is telling the world about what he's faced. And I am talking with a number of people who can speak Spanish fluently. And so I'm thinking about bringing a professor, depending on how his health is, so he can translate what is happening. But it's sad, and I want this country to know murders are not taking place only on the land. It's taking place in the sea. And there are many of the victims. There is already insurance for them. Be careful if you have sons who are going on these vessels and there seems to be no clear regulation. Nobody know who on the vessel. Nobody know who these people are. So you can kill them, sink the ship, and collect big insurance. So our ocean has become a crime scene. Now nobody have to accept what I'm saying, but I'm satisfied that this level of gangsterism is taking place. And so I want to just read something to you so that you can see what we are faced with as a nation. Well, you would have seen that I showed you the master rule. It's Honduran. It was operating in the Bahamas. Report says she left Ocean Key heading to Eleuthera. Who is the owner of the cargo? Who hired the vessel? Did the company hiring the vessel ensure that the vessel had the necessary safety equipment and seaworthiness? Does the cargo owner charter have a fiduciary responsibility? Was she registered for domestic commercial activity? Who is the registered owner? Is he or she Bahamian? Was the vessel insured? For more than 55 years, this requirement had been in place. We have more and more maritime casualties involving substandard ships. That's very important to note. Something has to be done. Lives are being recklessly lost. And then we have a law that governs it, but nobody is enforcing the law. They put a young, inexperienced man from the Defense Force. Marvin James was playing F&M, so he chose a wonderful son of our party, our late Secretary General was Elgart Wright. He was a freedom fighter, and we have to look out for all the children of Elgart Wright because he struggled. And so Marvin James seconded his Defense Force son, Bernie Wright, sent him to be in charge of the port. And Bernie Wright is overwhelmed. Bernie Wright is not looking at the law, and as a result of that, all kind of slackness is taking place. All kind of slackness. So vessels are leaving. We don't know if they're licensed. We don't know if they're registered. We don't know if they have paid their VAT or their taxes. We don't know how many people on these vessels. We don't know how many of them are maritime slaves. And then we have seen between the PLP and the F&M, they found one white man. He's perhaps the richest white man in the world. And no matter how you vote the F&M in or out, or how you vote the PLP in or out, no prime minister has been able to get rid of that foreign white man. Cannot. He's in charge. They cannot. He's in charge. They cannot. He's in charge. And so, it is a major piece of corruption in our nation. I could tolerate the corruption if poor people were not being killed. Let's say the white man, for whatever reason, that the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement thinks that this white man should dominate maritime. But at least, if this white man could stop poor people from being killed. But that doesn't happen. And no government, no party, PLP or F&M can explain why he is in charge. And I sit back and I said, Jesus, have mercy. You hear me? It's a disgrace that 4 Hondurans drowned. I don't want nobody to tell me but there's foreigners. Well, I'll have you to know that I love Hondurans. I'll have you to know that. You want to hear another thing? I know a young boy. He's like 7. And he told me, my father is a Honduran. My father is a Honduran. I couldn't say to him, because there were many of his relatives there. I couldn't say to him, I tried to figure out why you are so handsome. His father is Honduran. You heard me? But we are presiding over a maritime where we're killing off Haitians. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the Haitian man from Baintown, he had a struggle, it is alleged, to get from the bottom of the boat to come up to save his life. And he died. I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, there's foreigners. I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, they're Hondurans. I don't want nobody to tell me who's Haitian. All right? You could tell me that while the person is safe. And if you want to talk nationality and so forth, you can tell me that. But we got 4 Honduran drowned. And after a couple hours, the search and rescue is abandoned. But the United States press got the Royal Bahamas Police Force tied on land and sea, looking for Taylor Casey. Up and down, Taylor Casey, up and down. No evidence that foul play is suspected, and Taylor Casey is disappearing. But that is what is going on in this country, but nobody seems to be concerned. Come on, ain't nobody supposed to die like that without criminal investigation. Watch the United States of America. If you went in the US and you buck your big toe and you fall down and hit your head and you die, the police put up a yellow, what you call it, my spiritual advisor, that they used to
cordon off?
To cordon off.
The crime scene tape.
A crime scene tape. And a criminal investigation is conducted to see if a crime has been committed in the process of the person walking, hitting his big toe, falling down, and hitting his head. In the Bahamas, we don't do that. We don't have any institution that is functioning in maritime, and nobody's concerned about it. Nobody's concerned about it. Come on, we can't have a country where 8 people operating in our waters and 4 is killed. And there's no investigation. Nobody writes no report. Nothing. That is not right. And I don't want nobody telling me, oh, they're supposed to be in the Bahamas. Well, they're here, and they are protected by our laws. So they should not be killed. Y'all think I'm stupid, eh? I listen to what the people say to me. And then when they finish, I walk away and I said, boy, this sounds like gangsterism. I want to see true investigation, and I want to see an institution functioning similar. We see it in the United States over the last couple of months. Every other day there's some major report that an airplane loses its tire or almost buck into one another, and immediately the United States Civil Aviation began investigating. Immediately! Here in the Bahamas, we have a similar thing as well. If you should have a plane wreckage or near miss, our civil aviation land on the ground immediately. But here in the Bahamas, maritime doesn't do that. So everybody is operating in a gangster way. And I'm annoyed by that. I'm annoyed. So, I got a lot of things to say about maritime. have not gone through the law. I won't go through the law because on this show, I try to see if I could cover a number of topical points. But I want this country to know that we have to watch the fact that there are many people who's involved in the maritime industry who are dying. And what is disturbing is the many who are foreigners. And I suspect that they are maritime slaves. This is Freedom March. May God protect the maritime industry. I call on the Progressive Liberal Party to set up proper institution to manage our waters and to ensure safety. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. And it's birthday times, anniversary times, condolences times, and shout-out time. My spiritual advisor.
All right, thank you so much, Senator. We got a couple birthdays and shout-outs, and well wishes to do today. And of course, well, the list is for July the 16th. Louise Knowles. Louise Knowles is one of the women them. This all her life, really. Miss Knowles celebrated her 90th birthday Sunday. This woman says she's one of the women them.
Really?
At
She
the
accept
age
my-
of 90.
And she accept my leadership?
Yeah, this birthday
Lord,
wishes.
I thank you for this wonderful 91-year-old.
She's 90.
90-year-old. May she have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And Lord bless her with children who love her and grand and great-grand who adores her.
All right, so this birthday wish is coming from her sons, Rudolph and Stan, and all who love her. Happy birthday, Miss Louise Knowles. Laura Williams.
That's Laura?
Laura Williams, we understand.
Laura's 91?
No. I'm on another birthday now.
Okay.
Laura Williams is celebrating her birthday.
Really?
Greetings is coming from her children,
Okay.
Kira, Jock Lano, John
Yes.
Jensen, and Judd, and all her grandkids, sisters and brothers, and the entire Ramen Stubbs, Maycock, and Morse family. Let's see. Also, greetings is also coming from. Let's do this quickly. They want to do a proper shout out to her. Let's see. So, birthday wishes to Miss Laura Williams on behalf of the VSB group at Esso, East Street and Soda Road, family and friends, from the PLP branch, from all of the PLPs, from Abaco in the north, Inagua in the south, brothers and sisters, especially Vasco Bastian, Anya, Asher. We'd like to wish Laura Williams a happy 81st birthday. Congratulations to her on her pre-retirement. Enjoy your special day. We want to wish you all the happiness in the world coming from the Pendon family. It's coming from the Pendon family. Also, the Perry Christie, Brave Davis, and the entire PLP family. Also, from former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram as well. So, happy birthday to Laura Williams.
And I would like to join in saluting Mrs. Laura Williams. And Miss Laura, before you retire, I'd like some mangoes and some avocado pears. She's a wonderful fruit lady. Go ahead.
So next up is Amara Russell. Happy 5th birthday to this beautiful granddaughter, Amara Russell, coming from her Papa George, her mom, and the rest of the family. Happy 5th birthday to granddaughter, Amara Russell.
This is powerful.
Okay, Brianne Finley is up next. Happy birthday to Brianne Finley. It's coming from her mother, Sarah Davis, her father, Brian Finley, grandmother, Melvis Davis, Trico and Chase Camp's sisters, aunties, uncles, cousins, friends. They love you. They pray you live to see and enjoy many, many more to come. So happy birthday to Brianne Finley. Dante Barry is up next. Happy birthday to Dante Barry. It's coming from her son, Dante Barry. Hold on. Sorry, Dante Barry. Happy birthday to you. It's coming from the lady who sent you all the bananas. I don't know if I'm quite understanding this, but anyhow,
Go ahead, just read it.
Happy birthday to Dante Barry. I'm requesting a birthday request for today for my son, Dante Barry. I am the lady who sent all the bananas information.
Okay, I know who that lady is.
Who's that?
That's Sister Smith. Sister Smith, I join you in wishing, that's her son, right?
Yeah, Dante Barry.
Dante, a happy, happy birthday. And I'll have you to know that I've run out of bananas. This is powerful.
Who do you know? Cassandra O'Brien?
Yes, I want to shout out Sandra O'Brien. Sandra O'Brien, she lives in a wonderful constituency. She's one of the women them, and when I turned 60, having just before I became a senator, she invited me to the school that she taught, and when I arrived at the Sadie Curtis Primary School in that area in Nassau Village, as I entered, she led a chorus where the people them, the student them, and her sang me a happy, happy birthday. And so I was glad to see Cassandra O'Brien, and I wanted to know that I'm so excited when I saw her this morning, and I think it's powerful that she continued to accept my leadership. Yes.
Right, so let's do Dante Barry again. So birthday wishes goes out that the young man, Dante Barry, is coming from his mom, Michelle Barry, his sister, Misha, nephews, Malachi and Mika, grandmother, Bernadette Cargill, his aunt, that's P.S. Pedro Turnquest, and a host of family and friends. You read it, written, that's the info. Okay, so happy birthday to Dante Barry, okay? Coming from your mom, Michelle Barry, your sister, Misha, nephews, Malachi and Mika, your grandmother, Bernadette Cargill, your gaudy auntie, that's P.S. Pedro Turnquest, and a host of family and friends. All right, so we got that out of the way. Sorry, that's Miss Lewis knows hardly thanks. Okay. Okay. Shoo.
Are you finished?
Yeah. I'm glad we get that out of the way.
Okay, well, that is powerful. Well, the women's branch of the Progressive Liberal Party this Saturday coming, which I think is the 20th of July, they're going to be in Rock Crusher on the park, and they are going to have a breakfast. So if you live in Rock Crusher, you are invited. It's on the park. It should start between 8 and end at noon breakfast. So I'm told that they would like for me to pass by, and I'll tell the women of the PLP I will pass by under one condition, and that is they must have me a ripe pear. If I arrive and there's no pear, I'm going to tell Marcus to take me back to Black Village. So I want the people of Rock Crusher to be there, the women's branch of the Progressive Liberal Party, and that is what they're having. And then between 12 and 6 p.m., the party, that's the PLP, they will have a kind of, how do you say it, my spiritual advisor? It's a meet and chill.
Meet and greet.
A meet and greet. They're going to have a meet and greet. So please come there and enjoy yourself, okay? And yeah, so the PLP is having an event. So I told the PLP, they told me they want me to come, and I've given them a condition. I told them that my mouth is all. See, my mouth all. And I'm not coming unless that which they shall provide for me is soft, so that I can easily chew and digest. So the women's branch, Saturday, the 20th of July, Rock Crusher Park, big breakfast. It's powerful. They want me to come, I'll come, but there must be a ripe pear or I have no breakfast. And then at 12 noon, you go to the PLP headquarters, and there's going to be a, what you call it, my spiritual advisor?
A meet and greet.
A meet and greet. And it's going to be wonderful. And they asked me if I'll come, and I said, listen.
Meet and greet? Or is it a grill and chill?
A grill and chill, a meet and greet.
What is it? Did they tell you?
Well, you know, I'm old now.
Because meet and greet and grill and chill are two different
Well, they're going to combine
things.
them.
Okay.
As you're meeting
And greeting?
there'll be...
You're grilling and you're chilling?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
going to be great. All right? So I'll be there if it is God's will. Then tomorrow, the Water and Sewerage Corporation is going to be having they're kicking off their anniversary, and so I'm going to have some officials from the Water and Sewerage Corporation that is going to join me, and it's amazing the power of God. I've just been thinking, how do I get officials of the Water and Sewerage Corporation to join me on Freedom Mat so I could talk about water, water safety, ensuring that all the islands, all the Rock and Keys are getting good water. And so they're going to join me, and if I have my information correctly.
Oh, they're not coming tomorrow. When are they going to come? Oh, later on in the week, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday.
Ukune exactement.
And how the Haitians getting this now?
Mes amis, ma parle ak Haitien parce que les mots
All of a sudden you speak in English and then all of a sudden
ma gen un pile problème là.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
Lord, what is this?
Okay. Well, the Water and Sewerage, they're not coming tomorrow.
Later on in the week, okay?
I
So
hope
just
that they
hang
will
tight.
come. Just relax, my spiritual advisor, because I wanted to talk to them about the water issues in Lutra.
Yes, of course.
I wanted to talk to them about the water issues in Harbour Island, and I wanted to let them know that whatever problems around the Bahamas, in Black Village, we have some of the best water from the public pump. And I've done a social experimentation where one of my relatives said that he wanted a particular kind of water. So I went to the pump and I filled up a big bottle of water and I took it home and I watched him. You know, he took the government water for them private water, and when he had finished drinking and cooking, I asked him, do you know what water that was? So he called the people name. I said, no, that water is Roca Pure. And as we talk about Roca Pure, you must have heard by now that his wife has passed away. The Honorable Loftus Roca, his wife has passed away. I didn't intend to tell that to you at this point, but I thought I'd mention it to you. So I leave the Water and Sewerage Corporation for the time being, okay? And this is powerful. So what else do we have?
Now, Sandra,
Yeah.
table in the House. We understand there's an actual cannabis bill, 2024.
Oh,
Now, just let me read to you what is contained within this bill. And if there's anything in particular that you may be interested in, we'd have to go into the bill to see exactly what is being proposed.
Is the bill comprehensive?
Very much so.
Okay.
So let me just read to you quickly what is in this bill. All right? So the Cannabis Bill 2024, producer, right, I'm glad how you have that up so I could see it properly, right? There's the preliminary.
The what?
I always have a problem pronouncing this word from from school. The preliminary. I did it.
Yeah, you went to St. Augustine, you
The
know.
preliminary.
Say it again.
The preliminary.
This is powerful.
It's just that if I say it fast, I just miss it.
Okay.
So you got the short title and commencement, the interpretation, the application of the Act, and objectives of the Act.
Okay.
All right? So part 2 gives to the Bahamas Cannabis Authority. Do you know who those people are or who they would be?
Well, I want you to take me back to the Genesis. Everything you've said so far until you reach to that, start me one more time.
So when we go back,
Yeah.
we're just going to look at the short title and commencement,
Right.
interpretation of the
Right,
Act,
right.
the application of the Act,
Right.
and the objectives of the Act.
Stop. What is the objective of the Act? I thought you had it in front of you.
Okay. The objective
You
of the
think
Act.
I'm going to allow you?
Let me read it.
You think I'm going to allow you to have those who are trying to pass this law to trick me?
Listen, here's the objective.
I am 67,
Relax.
and I'll have you to know.
Here's the objectives of the Act.
Go ahead. What is the objective?
Authorize the production of cannabis, that's one. Provide for the handling of cannabis for medical, scientific research, and religious purposes. Provide for the possession and use of cannabis for medical purposes and for use in religious worship. Impose a quality assurance measure for safety, efficacy, and effectiveness. Provide for robust monitoring of cannabis throughout all phases, from cultivation to disposal.
Take me now to the provision that deals for religious purposes.
Okay, so scroll up, Mr. Producer, and let's see if we could find for the senator here.
Just put the camera on the spiritual advisor for
Religious
3
purpose.
minutes.
For religious purposes. It should have it. So we got access to the cannabis. Go ahead.
Religious?
Religious use is 49.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here it is. Religious use. An organization of the Rastafarian faith, or a person who is responsible for the administration or management of a place of worship of the Rastafarian faith, may apply to the authority for a religious organization license to distribute cannabis to members for use as a sacrament in an assembly of or an association with other Rastafarians in a place of worship in accordance with the provision of this act. A person of the Rastafarian faith who is not affiliated with an organization of the Rastafarian faith or place of worship of the Rastafarian faith may apply to the authority for a religious use license to possess, this is interesting, and consume cannabis for use in a religious sacrament in a secure area in a private residence. The holder of a religious organization's license should only distribute cannabis to the members who are 1. 18 years of age or older, and for use solely as a sacrament at a religious service. The holder of a religious use license should not distribute cannabis to other person. A holder of a religious organization license may make an application to the authority for an exempt event permit in the form prescribed by regulators to observe an occasion of worship or fellowship at a public place where cannabis is used as a sacrament at a religious service under the authorization of this section. No person should be liable to arrest and detention. Prosecution for any offense as regards the cannabis being conveyed to possession or use at the service in such amount and under such conditions as may be specified in regulations. Now, where cannabis is used as a sacrament for religious use by a holder of a religious use license in the secure area in a private residence, that holder should not be liable to arrest, detention, or prosecution for any offense as regards the cannabis being conveyed to, possessed, or used in such amount and under such conditions as may be specified in regulations. This is very interesting.
Okay.
Indeed.
Now,
Scroll back down.
who in that religious, who in the Rastas
Is qualified.
is what?
Is qualified
Is
to
disqualified from making the application?
Well, how can I?
Who is?
Go back down. Go back down.
Is there any area
Now this.
that that disqualifies a Rastafarian from being granted the license, or from a Rastafarian temple, or from a private religious group? What is the word that I use? Help me out.
You say disqualified?
What disqualifies him from making that application? We know that at the age of 18, he could apply.
Right. It says a citizen of the
What
Bahamas.
disqualifies him?
Not 18. It says a citizen of the Bahamas who is 21 years of
Okay.
age
Can apply.
or older.
Can apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they say an illegal entity. A legal entity.
Yeah.
Entity.
There's
So-
a high priest of the Rastafarian faith who's been one of the biggest drug smuggler in this country.
Two.
Pardon?
Oh. Nope. Now, what disqualifies a person is if no person convicted of an offense under the Dangerous Drugs Act, Chapter 228, the Proceeds of Crime Act 2018, number 4 of page 2018, or the Criminal Justice International Cooperative Act, Chapter 105, or this act, shall be eligible to apply for license under subsection 1.
Well, how is that possible when the principals, negotiators that sat down with us in the F&M have been some of the biggest drug smugglers and have some of the biggest conviction?
That to disqualify them then, Sandra?
But if we are being liberal and if we are accepting that when they were smuggling and smoking dope in their sacred place, they was doing it in the name of Jah Rastafari, Jah Mikonanai, are they not entitled to be exempted? If we now are admitting with the legalization of these dangerous drugs that we as a nation was wrong to support the criminalization, are you saying to me that that Rasta who believe in I have to send out a coded message
That they're
to
recognized.
Jah B, send me the God of the Rastas who live in Jamaica but is now dead.
So what are you saying? Their previous
Send it to me.
Their previous conviction should be overturned.
Listen to me, this is gangsterism. Who y'all think you're dealing with? You're dealing with me. For I am the uncle of many high priests. All right? If you were telling me that the Rasta Church, do you know how much time the Rasta Church, Nigish, Nigush, Migish, Mikai, Eli, Jah, Rasta Bikonai. You know how many times that they break the law? And we, in the F&M, give them 3 acres of land on Cowpen Road. We give it to them
For what purpose?
to smoke dope
You
and to
sure?
worship
No, not smoke dope now.
and to
Sandra.
smoke dope.
They gave them
My
the
spiritual
land
advisor.
for them to
My
develop
spiritual
so
advisor.
they can have their camp.
Every
Their Rasta
F&M
camp.
knows
Their
that
Rasta camp,
you
Sandra.
cannot have a camp unless you're smoking
That
dope.
didn't make it right, though, Sandra.
They know.
That didn't make it
If
right.
you give me
So they should have arrested
the
them and charged
authority,
them.
we could not be compromised. Don't forget, in the campaign of the F&M, what was our slogan? Rasta for who? Nigish, Nigush, Migish, Migai, Helai, Jah, Rasta for I. Ever forward, never backward. Babylon is on the run. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Over the Rastas.
Welcome back to Freedom Match. My name is Rodney Monka. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. We're going to do ad, and for some reason my spiritual advisor wants to talk about this dope bill, and I hope to show out some things because I have some rastas. What's the problem? Fix the mic if you think there's a problem.
It's the thing.
I have some rastas in my family. I'm going to use code name for them so that we can determine whether or not rastas who are ambassador. Should a diplomatic Rastafarian who run drugs from Jamaica, should he not be pardoned? Should Rasta J, should they not be pardoned? Should they not? What is this we're doing? Huh? If we can give the Rasta Church a license to smoke dope for their sacrament, then a non-Rasta could make an application where in the privacy of his home, him and his family and his friends, for religious reason, could smoke dope, then Dr. Hubert is correct when he says that we should then allow those who are not Rastas, those who is smoke dope not for religious reason. They smoke dope because they hook on dope. They love dope just like how the Rastas love dope. Don't forget that. We are family to the Rastas. We are family to the Rastas. I went to school with young men who became Rastas. And that is why, as I talk, you will see that I will go off in a strange tongue. To the Rastas of my generation, these old people, y'all have been smoking dope from we was in junior high. Y'all have been smoking dope when we enter high school. Y'all smoked dope while y'all was making baby. Now y'all is grandpa and great grandpa. And this society is going to condone you in smoking dope. You say for religious reason? We in the F&M. Check it. Which F&M government gave 3 acres? And every F&M ought to know by now that plenty dope was grown on that 3 acres. Will the Rastas be allowed to grow their own dope?
Well, let's do this quick first, Sandra, because we want to involve the public in this discussion as well. Let's do these ads. We can open the lines and we discuss it all. So the Work Center located Rosetta Street across from Roberts Furniture is your one-stop shop for back-to-school Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. So come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. The Work Center. Everyone needs money. So send money always using the, send money internationally and locally through Western Union with the MoneyMax app. Download the MoneyMax app today to send cash instantly to a family member or friend anytime and anywhere. Sending money has never been simpler. The app is available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So MoneyMax, live your max life. All right, so you can go back. We want to look at, would you want to look at cultivation?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at cultivation.
For religious reason.
For religious purposes only.
Yeah.
So the numbers are 323-7775, 698-0775, 698-0776. So the cultivation, you want the act that deals with the Rasta movement.
I want to know if Rastas, because they have 3 acres that was granted to them by us in the Free National Movement.
They still have it?
Yes, it's a crown grant.
Okay.
And I want to know if Rastas, for religious reason, There's a big word. What would you call grass if you grow it naturally? There's a word, you know.
Organic?
Organic. Is the Rastas, are they permitted to grow organically? By organically, it's natural. You don't extract nothing from it. They may not want to use fertilizers. They may not want to spray it because there is a variety of dope. Some dope smell, I can't use this raw word on TV,
Smell stink.
smell like nani. So right? Okay? There is another version
What's the cultivation,
when you are
Mr.
going
Producer?
to commit crime. You smoke
Is it
that
there?
dope. There's one that causes hunger. There's one that causes the young children and the young people to go wild and crazy. I wake, watch out for me, at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center. And when I saw many, many years that powerful young people from distinct family start coming to the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, something said to me at age 19, 20, 21, read their files because you and them belong to the same generation. That is why I'm able to attack. I'm able to attack because I know when they were smoking dope. I know they are sober. See, I know. Everybody know that I have mental problems, but I didn't smoke dope. We know that they had mental problems. They smoked dope. So they're more crazy than me. And I want to know. I want to know if Rasta A, you know what A stands for? He smuggled more drugs between Nassau and Jamaica. Is he going to be given a license? Because he's now safe in the Rasta faith. He accepts Jah. So certainly, if in the Christian faith, I could be a sinner and find Jesus, and in my Christian denomination, and in the Christian faith of my spiritual advisor, we are entitled to participate in the Eucharist. So are you saying to me that the Rasta who is a criminal, the ambassador, we sent Rastafarian ambassador from New Providence to Jamaica. Their God just died. Don't forget. See, you Negroes don't know. I live in the heart of Rasta land. And the Rastas chose a Jamaican as God. But the Rastas will tell you that he died. I'm prepared to show you the picture of the Rasta God, that they say that he is the manifestation of his imperial majesty. Hail, Selassie! But he died in Jamaica. You Negroes, you're talking to me. So I want to know. I saw the ambassador negotiating with the FNL. And I said back and I said, look how Menace negotiating with this gangster. That's what's going on here. So what should happen if we are going to concede? Every person who's been involved in the marijuana trade, in the drug trade, we should clean his record and throw it in the sea of forgetfulness. But I want to know if Rastas are going to be allowed to grow their own dope. Tell me what the law say.
What does 58 say? Oh, the numbers are 323-7775, 6980-775, 698-0776. No, we're not interested in the unlawful. Okay, so cultivation, production, promotion, and use. So prohibition on the cultivation, propagation, harvesting, storage of cannabis. So unless authorized by this act, any person who cultivates, propagates, harvests, stores, or offers to cultivate, propagate, harvest, or store cannabis, being the owner or occupier of any premises, uses such premises for the cultivation, propagation, harvesting, or storing of cannabis, or knowingly permits such permissions to be used for or use any conveyance for carrying out cannabis for the purpose of cultivating, propagating, harvesting, or storing in contravention of, scroll up a bit for me please, this section, or being the owner or person in charge of any conveyance knowingly permits the conveyance to be so used, commits an offense.
That doesn't deal with the question I asked. Does the Rastas, as men of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, are they allowed for religious purposes to grow their own organic dope?
Producer, we got to scroll through it to look at it because the
See,
act is very, don't run to conclusions here. The act is very long and there's so many sections in it.
When he raised the question.
So while we look, the numbers are 323-7775, 698-0775, 698-0776. You can call us and we can talk while we look at if the Rastas are permitted to grow their own,
or any religious person. And folks, just make your comment quickly and not long. And Mr. Producer, once you see me give the freedom salute, you cut off that citizen. Go ahead.
Yeah, what we have to do, Senator, is when the show over, you just have to go through the act and look at it properly.
You see,
Because this act, I just saw this today, actually.
the first sin
And we
that
didn't have
took
a chance
place
to look at it. We have
on
a
this
call?
act.
Come here a second. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Monka and Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is Shanika. I'm calling concerning the pastor and his flyer. I was very disheartened at that when I saw it on Facebook and then to hear it again. That was very immature, and there's no place for classism when it comes to the blood of Jesus and the saving of souls. Jesus died, as the song says, to the utmost, Jesus saved. So you should not be classifying who should be attending the event that God assisted you in creating, in gaining souls to come into His kingdom, because they are people that He shared His blood for. So you have no right to say sissies, and that is so immature, cannot come to it. Well, I think it was a South. That's what he has it for, sir.
From what we can see, yeah.
Yeah, that does egregiously immature on his
I want to ask you a
behalf as
question.
shepherd.
I want to ask you a question. May I? Woman?
Go ahead, sir.
That mysterious church, would you agree with me, you're not a member of?
No, I'm not.
Would you agree with me that that church and its members are free to set their own rules?
First of all, that's not their church. It's the kingdom of God.
No! No!
Bible.
No!
Kingdom of God is the Bible, and you go when I go into any organization
This is
as an
standard.
educator. Formidably, there's a book of policies that we as educators have to adhere
Anyway.
to. We don't say how the Ministry of Education are to run the Ministry of Education.
Anyway.
We adhere to that. And the minute
Woman, I tell you a mystery that you will not be able to conceive. They are not saved. You have a good day. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon, Spiritual Federal.
Good
And
afternoon,
good afternoon,
caller.
the good Senator.
God
And
save
good
the
afternoon,
king.
Bahamas. Spiritual Advisor, the country, we really going to a new low now. Tell when pastors and high-level people don't know when the witch got a hold of the country. I don't understand it. Listen here, the Constitution, clear as day, say abiding respect for Christian values. How you could go and legalize dangerous drugs and deal drugs to the Christian people? What wrong with you? I mean, and since Martin Monroe there, ain't no one can stand up against these demons. No one stand up against these demons. Spiritual Wiser and good Senator, let's hear a true chapter. Jeremiah chapter 23, he said, listen, I get old now. I fight all the battle for you. You ain't got to do no fighting. I got the angel here. Just keep this commandment. That's all he give us. Jeremiah chapter 23. That's all he said. Just, I old now. I didn't tear up all these nations. Just keep this commandment. And hey, now I'm going to express myself before I go. Article 49, right? He said for religious right. Now, a lot of people don't believe in Jesus. And without Jesus, you need blood. So what they can do when they come? They open a new can of wine. A lot of people, see if you can go sacrifice from me, I can say, don't do that. Jesus died for that and put all the priests out of business. What for these people who don't believe in Jesus? They need a sacrifice to cleanse the blood, because only way to get rid of sin is blood. So these people
I
open
thank
a new
you.
can of wine.
I thank you, my brother.
Anyhow, 323-7775, cultivation.
So
As far as-
the Rastas will not be
I
allowed
don't
to
see
go
it.
their
I
dope.
don't- You know, I can't say that. I have to
Well,
look at the bill.
I need to know.
Yeah, we
You see,
can find
if-
tomorrow. Pardon me? Distribute and consume. That's another heading.
Yeah, but I want to know if
They
there
can
is
cultivate it, right?
if there is any provision for the Rastas to be able to cultivate their own dope. That's all I'm
It
asking.
may not be though.
Well, then, if the
may not
Rastas cannot cultivate their own
They
dope,
want to control it.
well, if in the Christian denomination I belong to, we are allowed to manage and control our holy sacraments,
It's different.
no, it's not different. Because by this act of parliament, we are saying everything is right. So all I'm saying is the dope that the Rastas smoke, their dope is highly potent, very, very potent. I know some young people, when they smoke dope, they eat all their mouth food. There are some, they become lazy and they sleep. There are some people, when they smoke dope, they become sexy. There are others, when they smoke dope, they become violent. All kinds of things. There is a man who hails from in the back of whatever that place in the south
You got
near.
a call?
He is an intellectual when he smokes dope.
Keep it right there, producer.
And then there's another one, when he get high, he see things. Go ahead.
Yeah, because it does seem as if I'm coming to you right now, caller. Just hang on a second. It does seem as if this is not a wide, open deal for the Rastafarians, because apparently it seems as if you can only use it for solely as a sacrament at a religious service. Anything outside of that does seem as if it's against the law. And of course, you can only give it to somebody who is 18 years or older. Anyway, you can look at it.
My spiritual
that's
advisor,
just-
obviously then that is not fair.
Well-
Because a Rasta is perceived to be a holy person all day.
Okay, keep it right there.
And he must smoke dope all day.
Okay, so let's take this call first. Okay, welcome to Freedom March call. You're live. Are you there, caller? Welcome to Freedom March.
Niggas? Niggas, is that you?
Hello?
Nigesh? Nigoosh?
Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hey, my brother,
Yes, sir.
listen this. Pray me for everybody. That's number one. And I can tell you now, all them talking about this drug. Marijuana is not a drug. Marijuana is a herb. Go to your Bible. And all y'all who fight against it, you all fight against creation. You all fight against God himself. He is the creator of herb. And he tell you why he created herb. Strictly for the usage of man. I end up.
Thank you, sir. All right, so the holder of a religious use license should not distribute cannabis to another person.
What you mean? If I am converted to Rastafarian and the sacrament is our dope,
Pardon
what
me?
are you suggesting to me?
Okay.
That the ambassador, see, this is the disadvantage the government is under. Are you telling me that the Rastafarian ambassador cannot distribute some herbs, some marijuana, some dope to the various other members of the sect? Ja! Rasta Mikonai!
Now, a holder of a religious organization license may make an application to the authority for an exempt event permit in the form prescribed by regulations to observe an occasion of worship or fellowship at a public place. So,
On the 2nd of July, niggas, help me out. On the 2nd of July every year, Rastas have traditionally take to the street. When the Rastas march, each Rasta has his joint. Each Rasta has his dope. Each Rasta take a smoke. Each Rasta get high. Rastas go off. That's what happens. How do I know? I have marched with the Rastas. So I know. And they smoke dope the whole way. And I'm not going to call the priest's name. He would say to me, Brother Monica, I know you don't like this, but this the sacrament. I said, well, if the police ain't saying nothing to y'all, well, go ahead then. We are in danger land. If you are legalizing this, the Rastas should be able to grow their own dope.
So there are 2 licenses.
Other than that, they're going to import it from Jamaica. And everybody who knows, every good Rasta know that in Jamaica, some of the best dope is being grown, and the smuggling still go on. All right? Still go on. Just the other day, I had a Negro person contacted me and said that someone was locked up in Jamaica. So I said, what are you doing in Jamaica? He said, my man, I can't tell you, but it's little herbs. And that dope, I'm told that the Jamaicans, they have some of the best dope going on. You can't give the Rastas chemical drugs. You want to give the Rastas Babylon dope? Huh? You all want the white man to grow the dope and give it to I and I? No, that can't work. So this illegal thing will continue because the Rastas will bring in their dope from Jamaica, and everybody in the Caribbean knows that some of the best dope, some of the best marijuana comes from Jamaica, because the Jamaicans have been growing organic dope for years. I live in the heart of the ghetto, and I know. So what are we doing? So Dr. Minnis would be right, because if you have 2 categories of citizens who can be given license, you mean to tell me the bald heads can't get a license and say, listen, we having a party, so we want to have some dope to smoke at our party. We are having a setting up. Our boy, he just been executed on Nassau Street, and we can get together in the graveyard. And you know, the police don't want us to lick off no shot. The police don't want us to give no 21 gun salute. Pow, pow, in the grave. So the least we should be able to smoke our dope in peace. And there is no good funeral among our sons whose boys have been executed unless they light up a big joint. A big joint.
All the calls.
You got call?
Yeah.
Take call.
Let's take one more call before we
Go
go.
ahead.
Call, I'm sorry, you got 30 seconds. Welcome to Freedom March.
Well, you had me holding, but I can be quick.
You have the vote very quick.
Brother Rolla and Malcolm, listen to me. I believe Dr. Minnis show up Mr. Pintard yesterday in that debate. Minnis beat him that one, if you're judging them too. Number 2, They could legalize dope all in the world. I'm not 56. I never smoked a joint in my life. You think I could try and smoke that now at my age?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah. We understand
I
that.
can't do that at my age.
We understand that.
And if they do that, it'd be just like the number thing.
I'm not concerned about you. I'm not concerned about you. I'm not concerned about you. I know you ain't gonna smoke no dope. I'm concerned about the impressionable young people in my community. That is what I'm concerned about.
But let me say this, brother.
Thank you, caller. We
Yes,
gotta
young
go.
people in your community, if they want to join right now,
Thank you.
Lord, have mercy on us.
Call us back tomorrow.
We'll talk about dope, we'll talk about marijuana. The Rastas, are they going to be allowed to grow their own dope? Dope! God saved the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God saved the King. Lord, have mercy on us Negroes.